Again, guys, welcome back to the channel. And today we've got an amazing lineup of content for you guys today. From inspirational, need to know, mind opening, secret, classified, So thank you for tuning in to Chosen One TV. Like, comment, and subscribe. Watch the video from start to finish, guys, so you can really get the point of what's going on. And again, like I say, it takes nothing to press the subscribe button, guys. Press the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell so you can know all of the upcoming content. As soon as I drop them, you guys can get them. And again, like I say, thanks for tuning in to Chosen One TV. So, Chosen One TV, Enlightened One. Let's get it, guys.
Why is gas $5 a gallon? And why do I have to pay rent? And why is rent so high? And why do I have to drive my car and get the gas that I have to get to go to the job that I have to pay for rent? Why do I have to do all of that stuff? And why are you making it so fucking expensive to do it? I don't even want to get out and pump my gas. It feels like getting out and just knowing someone's gonna fucking stab you. Why would you get out? This is the beginning of life. What am I supposed to do forever? I have to get a fucking horse.
This student had a meltdown over crazy rent prices.
No, because you, America, for making me pay, or for making me work 4 jobs while I'm in college in rural Tennessee, and I can barely pay my own rent, and I'm taking 19 credit hours on top of those 4 jobs, and I still can't graduate on time, and I still can't graduate early, even though I'm taking 21 credit hours next semester. It's not fair. It's not fair anymore. It's never been fair, not in my lifetime. And will it ever be fair? No, because I'm a woman in America. I just want to live in peace, America. And I will one day. Probably something else.
Half of all renters in the US spend more than 30% of their income on rent. Rising rent prices are pushing record number of Americans towards the threat of homelessness, so the system definitely doesn't work and something needs to be changed.
Hey TikTok, I'm just on here wondering if anybody's feeling the same way I'm feeling. I'm from Illinois, and I feel like the gas prices and the electric bills and the prices of food is just so overwhelming anymore. I'm wondering if anybody else is feeling like they're drowning and they can't get out. I work overtime, and I cannot get above water. I literally have no gas for next week. It was either that or get a few groceries to get by. I hit my local food pantries. I'm just wondering if anybody else feels like they're drowning. But anyway, I hope everybody has a great day.
So for the people that are against voting today on minimum wage to be increased, let me break it down to you. You ready? Number 1 is if minimum wage is not changed, everything else just keeps going up. Like you see at the grocery store, most people are not even cooking at home because they think it's cheaper to eat out instead of buying groceries. And if you don't get stamps, I totally understand. Number 4, we still have mothers out here settling for less. Whatever they get is what they work. I know there's a mama right now that I can call. She's working at Wendy's and churches and trying to feed a family of 6. Go vote. My next thing to you is we need the economy to change. And if there is businesses that can't afford to pay their people $15 an hour, they are not needed to be operate. They don't need to operate. They need to just close out a business and give us better paying jobs. With all this being said, let me know what you think in the comments. Vote yes for the new bill.
Listen.
So what if I told you that all the water drying up has nothing to do with data centers and has everything to do with them sucking all the water out of the aquifers so that they can sell it back to you? Check the stock market exchange.
This right here is the reason why all the water's being bought up. Quantum innovation. Donald Trump just signed an executive order to sign into law quantum innovations. You guys want to know what's happening with your water? Go look up the United States Water Reserve on Google and find out what are the billionaires doing. I'm going to tell you, they're buying up all the water to tokenize it in order to feed it to AI, because this is what AI needs in order to operate. Project right here has been going absolutely parabolic ever since I started talking about it a week ago. I know for a fact that AI is only going to keep accelerating, so I position myself early. Not financial advice. If you guys want to check this out to see what it's all about, everything that you will need to know will be pinned in the comments below. We're in the digital age, y'all. Let's continue to get it. Peace.
I need someone to explain this shit to me. Americans are struggling to afford groceries. Rent is insane. Insurance keeps going up. Gas is over $4 a gallon in a lot of places. And the Trump administration just announced it's spending another $5.1 million to put gold back on statues in Washington, D.C. I'm serious. Gold plating statues, not lowering prices, not helping families, not making healthcare cheaper. Gold fucking statues. And this isn't even the only project. There's already millions being spent on the reflecting pool. There's the White House ballroom bullshit. There's talk of giant new monuments and arches. And the administration is literally posting online that they're aura-maxing Washington, D.C. Aura-maxing. While people are struggling to afford basic necessities, you cannot make this shit up. The people in charge keep talking about cutting government spending. They keep talking about waste. They keep talking about fiscal responsibility. Then they turn around and spend millions making statues shinier. That doesn't sound very America first. Because last time I checked, families can't pay their electric bill with a gold-plated horse statue, and they can't buy groceries with a prettier monument. Maybe I'm crazy, but if people are struggling to survive, spending millions on cosmetic upgrades to monuments seems like the absolute last thing the government should be worried about.
Y'all, Florida just became one of the top states where people are searching for financial help. And honestly, are we surprised? People are looking up things like rent assistance, debt relief, cash advances, and how to get out of debt. And this is not even in the name of extra money. It's just regular everyday people trying to survive. Think about it. Rent keeps going up, groceries keep going up, insurance keeps growing up, gas keeps going up, but most people's paychecks stayed the same. The part that got me from this article is organizations that's helping people with bills saying they're seeing more requests than ever, even from people who never really needed their help in the past. So this ain't just affecting people who are already struggling, it's starting to hit the working people too, with the everyday 9-to-5s that go to work Monday through Friday that should be able to afford these things. At what point do we stop blaming average individuals and admit that Florida is getting harder and harder for the average person? What do y'all think? Is Florida becoming unaffordable, or am I tripping?
So Walmart is the first to get caught raising prices on American-made products and then saying it's due to tariffs. They've been caught not only by people, but Trump and his team. And Trump and his team have called them out and said, we will be watching. You should eat the tariffs, is what Trump told them. Callahan Auto is pulling all their products out of Walmart's. They do auto parts, brake pads, and etc. They're pulling all their products out because they too caught Walmart raising prices under tariffs on American-made products. Again, they only care about their shareholders. They only care for what profit they can pull out. Trump told them, you guys made billions this last year. You were one of the most profitable companies. Target took a beating. A lot of the other places took a beating. You actually had a great year, and now you're raising your prices and saying it's tariffs, but it's American-made products. Pure greed, and they were caught. So Walmart is the first to get caught raising prices on American-made products and then saying it's due to tariffs. They've been caught not only by people, but Trump and his team. And Trump and his team have called them out and said, we will be watching. You should eat the tariffs, is what Trump told them. Callahan Auto is pulling all their products out of Walmart's. They do auto parts, brake pads, and etc. They're pulling all their products out because they too caught Walmart raising prices under tariffs on American-made products. Again, they only care about their shareholders. They only care for what profit they can pull out. Trump told them, you guys made billions this last year. You were one of the most profitable companies. Target took a beating. A lot of the other places.
Just thinking this morning about our country and late-stage capitalism and the cost of living and how much money everyone has to make to even afford to have a family these days. And it's what, like $250,000 minimum? Yeah, John and I have 2 kids and we don't make close to that. Not even close. Try like at least $100,000 less than that. So we're barely making it. And we have 2 good high-paying jobs as an electrical engineer and a nurse. Now, everyone always says, like, they make so much money, you guys should be doing so much better. They don't make that much money, okay? And the fact that the wages haven't gone up with inflation means we've been getting pay cuts basically the last 4 years. So we're not doing okay. Nobody's doing okay in this economy. This is what we're so upset about. And then you add in authoritarianism and fascism on top of that. Like, what kind of country are we leaving for our kids where we teach them it's okay that they go to school and then their friends are missing the next day because they were rounded up by ICE? This is not an okay world. This is what I don't want to leave my kids. This is what I want to protect them from. This is one of the reasons why we're moving to Europe. I'm tired of it. I haven't even touched on healthcare. That's a whole other story that we've spent over $10,000 a year on for the last 4 years. Childcare. $24,000 a year. Just so that I can go to work and not spend time with my kids. It's fucking insane. How does anybody live in this world? Like, how does anybody make that $250,000 every single year to just, like, be okay? I don't know anyone else except for, like, doctors who are doing fine. What are we going towards? What is the end goal here? Like, is anybody else as upset as I am seeing everything that's going on? I mean, I'm just ranting this morning. Sometimes I'm just getting in my thoughts and my feels, and I can't believe that this is the reality that we're living in right now.
What's up, America? I want to talk about the cost of living and how everybody is struggling in America. Now, I know we all keep waking up every day and we all try to make ends meet and we try as hard as we can. Because if we don't, we're gonna fail. We have a family. We have to survive, right? If you haven't noticed, it's getting harder and harder to live every single day. Month over month, the costs are going up. It doesn't matter if it's utilities or water or food or gas. Somehow, some way, no matter the season, they find a way to fuck you. Corporations raise prices, they price gouge you on purpose seasonally, and we're falling for this shit because we don't have any choice. Well, I want to have a choice. I want it to go back the way it was before they were fucking us worse than ever in history financially. I don't mind making money, I don't mind making profit, but you're making obscene amounts of profit simply because you hate your customers. You even mock them the fact that you're taking advantage of them. And in many cases, you're getting the money, but you simply don't deserve it. You're not providing a service where it's worth it. Even shit like arcades and mini golf and fucking mountain coasters have doubled or tripled in prices. And it's the same shit. It's not like it's any extra cost. You're just fucking people for fun. Like I said, I don't mind making money and I don't even mind making a good amount of profit, but you can't fuck everybody constantly.
Do you feel like you're getting absolutely by monthly bills just to survive? Yeah, that's because you are.
Rent is too damn high, and there's nothing else to talk about.
Let's talk about it. Electricity prices are rising twice as fast as inflation right now. Some families are seeing their electric bill hit over $400 a month. Grocery prices just saw one of their biggest jumps in years.
That it's far less expensive under Trump than it was under Sleepy Joe Biden, and the prices are way down.
Daniel, what do the numbers say?
None of that is true.
Coffee prices have exploded because of supply issues and new tariffs on Brazilian imports.
Let's make coffee! Does anybody want coffee?
Major retailers are openly admitting tariffs are forcing them to raise prices on consumers. And people are paying $80 to $100 just to fill the tank of their car because our 2-day war in Iran is still going on months later.
One banana, Michael. What could it cost? $10?
Meanwhile, Republicans are going on TV acting like the economy is fucking crushing it. Cool. Now explain why people are standing in grocery store aisles doing mental math over eggs, coffee, and ground beef. Why people have to work 2 fucking jobs just to make rent and keep their lights on. And while regular people get squeezed harder and harder every day,
Republican leaders and their billionaire friends are fucking crushing it.
at what point are we going to admit this economy is not crushing it for the normal people?
I escaped the U.S.
I'm 18 years old and I escaped America.
Once you leave America, you ain't never going back.
But I wanted to send my daughter to school safely with the peace of knowing that I would be able to pick her up at the end of the day.
The best option for us was actually to leave the country, because I wholeheartedly believe if you can't afford the healthcare in the country that you live in, you can't afford to live in that country.
I don't think Americans realize the way that they live is not actually normal when you compare it to the rest of the world. It's not normal to not have access to healthcare. It's not normal to be in a crippling amount of debt just because you went to college or you went to the hospital. It's not normal to be so afraid of violence or sending our kids to school and there potentially being a school shooting. It's not normal for 1 in 5 citizens to be illiterate or for over half of the population not to be able to read above a 5th grade level. It's not normal for 75% of a population to be overweight and over 70% to be on at least 1 prescription medication. It's not normal for some American food to be completely banned in other countries. It's not normal to not have access to maternity leave or any paid vacation throughout the year. It's not normal to only have 2 choices when it comes to politics. And this is not just when you're looking at other developed countries. This is when you're looking at countries on a global scale, both developed and developing. What many Americans would classify as third world countries have access to a lot of the things that Americans could never dream of. My family left the US over a year ago. We have a 3-year-old, and one of the biggest driving factors to us leaving was just what kind of lifestyle our child was going to grow up in, what type of environment.
This is just another reminder of why I will never move back to America. I've been living in Thailand for over 2 years now, and whenever people ask me if I will ever move back to America, especially now that I have a young son, I have a 7-month-old son, and they ask, with the public school, the education's better and this and that than it is in Thailand, and I couldn't care less. I really couldn't. I don't think most Americans realize that most places in the world don't live like that. I've been through some situations in my life when I was in America. I mean, I had situations where I had pew-pews pressed to my head and I was in crowds when they went off and, just situations. And so maybe I'm a little bit more tainted than someone who hasn't been through those things, but it took me probably 6 months of living out here full time and going out in public all the time and being around people to shake this underlying layer of stress and anxiety that I believe almost every American has and doesn't realize they have. And it's a combination of everything. It's a combination of the things that are actually happening, right? Because those things aren't fake, they're really happening. And it's a combination of how the media portrays it, how they push it, the division, the narratives that are cast upon everyone throughout social media and the news outlets and all these things. Living here in Thailand, I just don't even think about it. When we go to the mall, when we go to a festival, when we go to a public place, when I think about sending
You cannot live here.
And why so?
Seattle
is not affordable. We are homeless. I used to work as a meat cutter. I made good money, but I still couldn't afford a place to live. You don't get housing. You have Catholic Community Services. They do nothing. You have SHARE. They do nothing. You have all these housing people, and they do nothing. They leave you out there. Right now, I sleep in a tent. I'm 62 years old, and I'm too old for this.
How much does somebody need to be making a month to live well here?
I would probably say you probably need to be making about $200,000 a year to live well in Seattle with a family.
And how much does somebody need to make on a monthly basis just to get by and be able to pay for their rent, car insurance, everything like that?
I think you'd have to make at least $100,000 to live an actual full life and live on your own and be able to pay all your bills.
Yeah. What do you do for work?
I'm head of HR.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that, you know, the state of America has gotten so bad and so out of touch that there's literally people out here that need to work 3 jobs just to survive, not to even get ahead, not even put money away. There's people out here that have to work 3 jobs and still do stuff on the side, and they're still unable to make ends meet. Like, when did we normalize working ourselves to death? When did we normalize putting our jobs over our friends, families, our lives? How did we normalize homelessness? People having to live out of their cars if they don't want to work more than 1 job. And realistically speaking, you shouldn't have to work more than 40 hours a week to make ends meet. Yet there's people literally working 3 jobs and they're still drowning. They're still falling behind. They still can't get ahead. And it's almost like we motivate each other to work ourselves to death, to work ourselves to the point of developing health problems. People are literally out here with their health failing because they've overworked themselves so much and they haven't taken adequate time to take care of themselves. And there's another good percentage of people who have just decided to completely check out of this shit because it's not sustainable anymore. People are sick and tired of working and not seeing the fruits of their labor. People are sick and tired of working their lives away for absolutely no reward. Working harder isn't the solution. Cutting back isn't the solution. Realistically speaking, how much more can we cut back? Because it literally feels like we're penny pinching as much as we can and it's still never good enough.
The price of oil is dropping like a hot potato, but you still feel like you're being ripped off at the pump, and well, you are. And so here's what's happening. Right now, the Strait of Hormuz is back open, and 20 million barrels of oil flowed through just yesterday. But that doesn't mean that you're going to be paying lower prices at the gas pump because the way it works. So gas companies and, you know, your local gas pump, whether it's a Chevron or a Maverick or a 7-Eleven or whatever it may be, they buy their gasoline in futures orders up to 2 months. And so they paid a higher price just maybe a week ago. So they're going to have to continue to charge you that higher price until they go through all of that supply. Their next order, of course, is going to be much better, but we're going to have to wait for them to run out of their current supply and the new supply come in at a lower price before we're going to actually start seeing the benefit. So even though oil right now is at pre-war levels, down to $69 a barrel today, we're not going to see that at the pump for another month to 2 months, depending on where you live. Which is why we came up with the idea of giving away $1,000, because we know people are struggling. And so we opened up KUA.com, your #1 source for all of your news in one place that you can have curated directly to your likes, tastes, etc. And if you comment right now, show me the money, I'll send you a link where you can go and sign up for free and be entered to win $1,000 of my hard-earned money going to you.
While many of us are focusing on the potential financial collapse of the United States, that is not the real collapse that we need to be focusing on. There is something else that is deeper. It is something that other countries have figured out. And the reason it is not a priority for the United States is because it does not benefit the elites. In fact, this form of collapse is the desired outcome. And it is the collapse that is going to continue to happen unless more people wake up and push back against it. And that is the collapse of family and community. The United States currently operates on an extremely individualistic society. We are living in a fear-based society. We do not trust our neighbors. We teach our kids stranger danger from the moment they are born. Not only do we not talk to our neighbors anymore, but we actually distrust them to the point where we do not allow our children to go outside and play in the neighborhood anymore. We are fearful of sending our kids to school because of all the violence and bullying that is going on inside of the school system. We are living in an environment where politics pit people against each other who would otherwise get along just fine. The hate and division has been manipulated intentionally. And not only that, but the family unit itself is beginning to deteriorate. Over the last couple decades, more families are needing to go from a single income household to a dual income household just to keep up with inflation and cost of living. Wages have remained basically stagnant because both parents are having to work. That means children are being required to go to daycare as early as 6 weeks. Unlike just about every other country in the world, the US does not have any type of support for families. There is no guaranteed maternity leave. It is so important from a developmental standpoint for young children, at least under the age of 3, to be with a secure caregiver, one-on-one family member, mother preferably, but any close family member is ideal for that child's development. When you stick children into daycare really early so that the parents can go to work, that really does have long-term lasting effects on that child that last all the way into adulthood. And this is not to make anyone feel guilty. I had to put my kids into daycare also. I was a single parent. I had to work. And this is not to make you feel guilty whatsoever. You have to do what you need to do in order to survive and take care of your family. It is not your fault that you are having to do this. Our economy and our system is not set up to make it easy to support you to be the parent that you need to be. Other countries all around the world, families are supported so much better. And this is something that I have become more just aware of and passionate about as we have traveled the world. And specifically, I'm going to use Asia as an example.
Look at this, bro.
It's a serious situation, so I'll start by reiterating what they both said. This is not a drill. Please, if you're in the map area, do not use water. This is a very serious situation. It's also a health situation.
It's a serious situation. How serious can it be when you have Jeff Bezos saying things like this? AI could be prioritized over human needs. That's because I'm telling you guys what's going on with the water. Did you guys see this? The project is called the United States Water Reserve because we all know that AI needs 2 things to operate. It needs electricity and water. Guess what's going on in the media right now? UN warns that AI will drink as much water as 1.3 billion people. I don't know if it's the PSYOP or anything like this, but the United States Water Reserve has been launched to the public, and since I've been talking about this, it has been going crazy. Obviously, there must be some validity to this because we see AI is taking over all over the place and it needs water. So all the billionaires are buying up all the water and they are tokenizing it on the chain, man. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Go on Google, type in USWR. This is not financial advice, y'all. Everything that you will need to know will be pinned in the comments below. We're in the digital age. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
They're crying. It's so hard. This message is not for everyone. You'll know if it's for you. You might want to take a minute to pray for them because right now, life is stomping them in the head. Life is surrounding them and jumping them, giving them punches to the ribs, to the kidney, and they feel like life is just being unfair to them at this time. This is what they get for mistreating you and mistreating other people. They took you as a joke, and they never thought they would see a day like today. They never thought that God would hold them accountable. And now they're crying and wailing and wondering, why is life so difficult? Why can't I catch a break, they think. But they know deep down that they're dirty, they're filthy, and they're nothing but a hater, someone who is constantly jealous and envious.
Life is unpredictable, especially in 2026. The housing crisis is pushing more people into vehicle dwelling every day. I chose this lifestyle, but for millions of Americans, there's no other choice. The rent is too high, the system isn't working, and honestly, I think the American empire is in decline. Things aren't looking good, so for now I'm rolling with the other nomads. And it's good to know I've got people who have my back. Community matters, especially when the trust is eroding and the moral fabric of this country is slowly unraveling. I am a fellow nomad, and I approve this message.
1 in 3 Americans now thinks their finances will get worse this year. Not better, worse. That's the highest level of pessimism Bankrate has recorded since they started tracking it. And here's the part nobody is saying out loud. It isn't a crisis, it's a drag. Rent went up, groceries went up, daycare went up. None of it is a disaster on its own, but all of it together means the cushion is gone. The grocery bill alone is running about $300 more a month than a year ago. That's a car payment. Search Decoded Money Pessimism Survey.
Here's a prediction I'd bet my own money on. The trend of Americans retiring abroad is about to explode. My name is Kevin, a former Wall Street fund manager. Now I create financial content for free, so you don't have to pay for it. And honestly, it's a no-brainer. Everything in the US, from housing to healthcare, is getting brutally expensive. It used to be that only the super wealthy could live a global lifestyle, but now it's regular middle-class folks, retired teachers, military vets, people living on a pension or a 401k. Places in South America and parts of Europe are becoming hotspots because they're rolling out the red carpet with special retirement visas designed specifically for people living on investment income. It's a massive arbitrage on your cost of living. If you like what I'm talking about, I hope you can give me a like and follow me. Thank you. Here's a prediction I'd bet my own money on. The trend of Americans retiring abroad is about to explode. My name is Kevin, a former Wall Street fund manager. Now I create financial content for free, so you don't have to pay for it. And honestly, it's a no-brainer. Everything in the US, from housing.
So I'm at the point now where I think it's cheaper to go out to dinner. I went to the store tonight. I bought a pack of ground beef, a pack of buns, a bag of potatoes, and a bottle of oil. How much do you think that cost me? $50 fucking dollars. $50 for a hamburger dinner to make French fries and have hamburgers on a bun. No lettuce, no tomato, no cheese, no bacon. Hamburgers, buns, oil, and a bag of fucking potatoes. I make pretty good money. Thought I had a good job. I think it'd be cheaper to go out to dinner than to buy hamburgers or to make hamburgers and French fries at your own fucking house. Has anyone let the government know that people can't afford to fucking eat? Are we supposed to live off ramen? This is fucking insanity. This is fucking insanity.
60% of the American public is about to lose everything they have. People living paycheck to paycheck are about to go broke. The GDP numbers came in yesterday, and of course the economy receded, which I predicted 2 months ago, and people laughed. Mark my words, the second quarter is going to be far worse. Tariffs on Chinese products at 145% are about to kick in, which means everything you buy from China on Amazon or elsewhere is about to go through the roof. Grocery store shelves are starting to empty at Walmarts across the country, and of course grocery prices continue to soar. People who've been financing groceries on credit are starting to default on those payments. We are about to see an economic catastrophe. If you're in this 60% that has little or no money, please stop spending money. Protect your family. Trump does not care about you. Even if you voted for him, he's a billionaire. He won't suffer, but you and your family will. Please protect yourself. 60% of the American public.
$10K a month in 2026 is poverty. Like my rent in Tampa, Florida is $4,900 a month. I don't go out to eat all the time. I spend like $1,500 a month on food. If I go anywhere to a restaurant, it's a minimum of like $80. I, as a single male, spend like 12 grand a month. What I spent in 2020 was like 6 grand a month. I didn't like substantially upgrade my lifestyle. I was doing the same stuff in 2020 as I am in 2026.
Yo, this guy said this was $51 in food. This is ridiculous. I feel like whatever the minimum wage is, you should be able to prepare a meal off whatever the federal minimum wage is. So minimum wage is $7. They need to make foods available, that could meet that criteria, because ain't no way this is $51. This is crazy, but yet so true. I didn't realize it until I saw it.
Imagine working an hour,
just to afford 1 pound of ground beef. For the first time in American history, a pound of ground beef costs more than the federal minimum wage. Yep, America has officially lost the plot. The federal minimum wage is $7.25 an hour. Meanwhile, ground beef can cost you anywhere between $6.50 a pound all the way up to $9 a pound. And if you want organic, baby, bring your wallet and a cosigner. I need y'all to think about how wild this is. The thing we used to call a cheap option for dinner is now competing with folks' hourly wage. And then you're constantly being gaslit by your leaders, told that the economy is doing great. For who? Because a lot of American families are working. They're doing everything they're supposed to, but they still standing in the grocery store, studying the math like they preparing for the SAT. Leaders listen to you when you struggle, because a leader will try to solve your problems. But when you're being gaslit, somehow the problem's going to always be you. You're not working hard enough. You're not budgeting enough. You're just not sacrificing enough. Meanwhile, hamburger meat got promoted, but your paycheck stayed the same. How are you guys handling these grocery prices? Because if ground beef is making more than some Americans are making per hour, we need to have a conversation, folks. How are y'all paying anywhere between $1,600 and $2,000 a month for rent on $7.25 an hour? Seriously, I need somebody to show their work, because the math ain't mathing. Because, you know, every time somebody always loves to say, folks don't want to work. I always laugh at that. There are plenty of jobs. The problem is, there's plenty of jobs that'll pay you money just enough, but not enough to get ahead. It's like being on a treadmill that charges you rent. You run at full speed, but you still ain't going nowhere. Think about it. Rent is $2,000. Then you still need lights, groceries, car insurance, gas, and the car itself. At this point, your paycheck is showing up like a contestant on a reality survival show. Back in my day, you could get a whole apartment, 1 bedroom, say, $450, plus utilities included. Now the landlords hand you the keys and a financial hostage situation. And then people wonder why folks got 2 and 3 jobs and still can't breathe financially. This ain't sustainable. So I want to know, are you surviving in this economy, or are you just learning how to drown slower? Let's talk about it.
60% of Americans will lose everything they got in the second quarter of 2026 under this administration. You guys see how many people lost their homes and got their cars repossessed? And look at the tariffs on China. We're still going back and forth with China, man, on tariffs, 145% tariffs. The gas prices is through the roof. The food prices, man, I don't even want to talk about. People are riding around on empty, man. So you know, in the second quarter of 2026, a lot of people are going to lose their jobs, man. Y'all see what happened last month? 17,000 Spirit workers lost their jobs. There was something happened at, I can't remember the name of the place, where 30-something thousand people got notices before they even went to work. They got fired through email, man. I can't remember the name of the company, but it happened like 2 months ago. Repossessions, man, is up to 15,000 repossessions a day in the United States. And in most cases, people can't even hide it. They can't even hide their cars. Even if you hide them at a friend's house or in the garage, they got all those devices on where they can track the vehicle, no matter what state you in, where you put it at, man. And that's why I believe 60% of Americans is going to lose everything they got, man. I see houses all around me going up for sale. I see all kind of cars being repoed from grocery store parking lots and stuff, man. It's getting bad out here, man. Save your money, man. Save your money. It's getting bad out here. This guy that's running our country don't give 2 fucks about you, man. He don't give 2 fucks about me. He's already a billionaire. He made it very clear that he do not care about your financial situation, man. Thanks for watching.
That Fed Up stage hits different. I'm talking that stage where nothing they say or do at that point will change your mind. They will never understand it. As hard as it was, you finally gained the strength and fight to want better, to want more. because the thought of settling disgusts you. And although you're scared, you're ready to risk it for the life that you know you deserve, because you know that's everything. Straight up.
Hey, what another amazing video. Look, you guys, I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything. The truth is out there. Do your own research. You'll come to your own conclusion. I'm just putting it out there so y'all guys to come to your own conclusion. You know, the truth is out there. So let's get this video to a couple thousand likes and boom.